Okay, I'm going to put Endless Path on hold for now. I'm going to try to advance the plot. Let's see. Where should we go now? Yeah, the city. Going to the city. After our encounter with Myrwald, she talked about... Okay, what was it he talked about? Some kind of a group called the Leaden Key.
I shall.
And we have to investigate them in the city. Apparently they worship a goddess, a queen or something like that. Wait, why is Eder's health not full green? I've rest. See?
I must say, I'm impressed.
Why is Eder's health not full green? What happened? Health 788,914. Should I rest? Durance is also the same. Shall I rest again? Okay, let's rest again. Right, now Eder and Durance have full health. Let's go.
I must say, I'm impressed.
Wait a minute. Didn't I send one of my men on a mission? Okay, Versailles is assigned. Remaining 3 turns. The apothecary, Tamawatua. He was being harassed by pirates. No, he's being harassed by pirates. Murder Bridge? How can I access it? From Black Meadow?
What's this?
What is happening? Zaurib? Why so suddenly?
I'll see what I can find.
Lars Nilsson. Gold plated name. This must be Becker's, right? Yeah, not interested. These Becker stories are not interesting at all. CDX Vanessa Smedley.
Easy now.
Stealing, okay.
Looks like I'll be taking the long way to
Let's see
Defiance
what we
Bay.
found.
Yes, Aloth. Aerthus. Get out of here.
Slow and silent.
Dang looters. Can't be bothered to find an honest wage. What? Years of saving just to see it all washed away. Peregun says, "Here's my luck." The woman mutters, kicking her foot into the ground and upturning a clod of soil. As you approach, her ears twitch and she turns to greet you. "Cail, traveler," she says with a half-hearted hand wave. "The bridge to Defiance Bay is out. That's where you're headed. You'll need to find another route." Arismital asks, what destroyed the bridge? Peregun says, the river has been rising on account of all the storms. Here, where the river narrows, the flooding did the most damage. The Orlan woman folds her arms, a scowl overtaking her face. Guess they don't make things to last around here, do they? One of the stone columns collapsed in a flash flood, taking the whole middle section of the bridge out to sea. Madumer Bridge was the most direct route from Gilded Vale to Defiance Bay. Merchants and travelers now have to find boat passage or add days of extra travel to loop around the bay. So I started a ferry service, thinking I'd earn some coin and help others cross over to the bay. Peregun shakes her head, her ears twitching as she speaks, and that was a bigger mistake than that time I allowed a cipher to court me. Arismital asks, mistake? How so? Peregun says I had been attempting to turn a quick copper, but she bites her lip, her face turning flush with anger. Just my luck. The blasted currents threw my ferry to the rocks, gashed it, and my profits to pieces. Making matters worse, when I went to prowl the shore to salvage whatever shipping crates didn't sink, a pair of looters attacked me. She stomps her foot into the ground. The dang brigands had the nerve to attack. I managed to avoid harm, but now they have stolen by force all that is left of my fortune. She eyes you for a long second, her hand cupping her chin. You know, you look like you'd fare better against those looters than little old me. Could I enlist your help? Arismital asks, what is in it for me? Peregun says, you would make a good merchant. Peregun blurts out with a laugh. I'd worry if you didn't inquire about your own profit motive. She scratches her ear, blushing as she speaks. I'm a bit destitute at the moment, but I have a shop over in Defiance Bay. If you help me recover my merchandise, I'll sell you whatever you want for a bargain. Arismital says, I will take a look. Peregun smiles wide, her ears perking up. Thank you. I'm sure those thugs have made a mess of my stock, but maybe there's something there to be saved. Arismital asks, how do I get to Defiance Bay? Peregun says, with the bridge destroyed, the best course of action would be following the river north. You'll be able to cross farther upstream, but you've got a long walk ahead of you. Arismital says goodbye. Peregun bounces on her feet at your approach. My helpful stranger returns. Have you managed to find anything yet? Even if all you found is driftwood, just knowing those looters got what they deserved would moisten my breeches. I don't understand. If all I found is driftwood, then there's nothing to loot, right? Why should I care further about the looters, unless they are in possession of valuables? Arismital says I'm still looking into it. Peregun says, well, please hurry, before whatever's worth salvaging gets washed out to sea or carried off by those brigands.
Nice and quiet.
I'm here.
Aye?
I'm on the trail.
Of course.
Nice and quiet.
What are these? Dead cows?
Nice and quiet.
Maggots squirm amidst the deer's entrails. Oh, a deer, not a cow.
Let's see what lies this way.
Okay, green circle, not enemy. Unwen, looter. Gather around the soggy timbers of a ship wreckage. Men and women pick through the driftwood, snatching muddy silverware, moldy clothes, chipped pottery, and anything they can spot amongst the detritus. All eyes turn to you as you approach. The group trade nervous stares at you until at last a woman in the muddy clothes steps forward and speaks. "Where are Bretal and Teran?" she asks. "They were just up along that path and heard fighting." Her eyes narrow and a hand moves toward a knife on her belt as she anticipates your reply. Arismital says that wreckage is private property and you are looting. Anwen blinks in disbelief. Looting? But this is a wreck. What value does it have? The men and women all turn to her, their faces frightened and worried. "Please, we need these supplies dearly. Storm took everything from us. It is not our desire to steal, but we are destitute. Should we let these wares just sink to the river bottom?" Okay, I promise Peregun that I will look into it. I don't want to break my promise. I mean, these items are the looter's treasure, but is this also the treasure for Peregun? Arismital asks, "I'm sorry for your misfortune, can I help?" Anwen says, "Perhaps you could tell the merchant you found nothing beyond bits of driftwood. From her point of view, it will be as if the river washed it all away. Besides, how much copper will she really make by selling these rotting clothes and soiled wares?" Well, Hanwen makes a point. How much copper will Peregun make by selling these rotting clothes and soiled wares? Yeah, Hanwen has a point. Arismital says, "I will see what I can do." Hanwen says, "Thank you." She sighs, wiping sweat from her brow. "You are the first turn of good fortune to come our way in a very long time." Hanwen snaps her fingers at one of her comrades, points to a pile of supplies drying in the sun. We don't have much, but take this as a token of our thanks. Okay, Hanwen said that we are the first turn of good fortune. Does she forget that we just killed two of her comrades? The ones that she called Beran and Teran?
I shall be quiet as a calm sea, which is not very.
The frayed end of the rope drifts in the river. Right? Back to Peregunitis. Peregun bounces on her feet at your approach. My helpful stranger returns. Have you managed to find anything yet? Even if all you found is driftwood, just knowing those looters got what they deserved would moisten my breeches. Oh, breeches, you say? I just noticed. Aris Mittal says, I picked through the wreckage, but I found nothing salvageable. Must have washed away. Peregun kicks her foot into the dirt several times. I figured just as much. Well, thank you for your assistance. I suppose I need to figure out how I'll recover my investment. At last, her foot stops kicking and she lets out a long sigh. Thanks for trying. Find yourself in Defiance Bay, search out my shop. I'll need all the customers I can get. Right? I remember that.
I'm on the trail.
Mudmud Bridge. Nowhere else to go because the bridge is broken. Okay, what's in Wood and Plains? What? How? Lord Björnwiger, a cruel ruler from the north, has arrived at the stronghold. He arrived before, and I've sent him away, giving him advice of diplomacy. Why is he back now? Something new? Or is this a repeat? Oh, bad visitor, leaving in 7 days. Lord Björnwiger. Send escort, payoff. How much? Oh, payoff to 50 CP? Okay, payoff. Now go away. Deal with your problem yourself. Another Becker message. Dang, so many of them. Well, I guess we thought, I mean, to be fair, without the Becker support, this game wouldn't have been made. So yeah, the least I can do is just ignore it if I don't like it. No need to talk bad about it, I guess. There's a corpse here, but I cannot examine it. Why? What is that? Solmar the Shackler, a slaver from Reatseras, has arrived at your keep, seeking your counsel on some business matters. Leaving in 8 days, 24 hours. Okay, I still have 8 days. A lot of time. Wine dregs swirl around the bottom of the clay jar. Okay, whose cart is this? Where is the owner of this cart? Beset by bandits, perhaps? But if it were bandits, why is the cart safe? A sparrow's nest is tucked between two angled slats. An abandoned house is broken down. What happened? Jailien di Mathe. Okay, Becker character.
Laying low.
Tucked under the flap of this bedroll is a relic of some kind. Small conch shell strung with seaweed. Corpse? Wow. A corpse. Waves are roughly chiseled in the stone. They grasp at Ondra's beloved moon like curling fingers. Is this corpse perhaps the owner of the cart, the abandoned cart that we encountered earlier? Okay, is there anything else we can look at? Okay, I guess I have to. I've been here, cart. I've been to the abandoned house. I've been to the northeast and north and to the southeast. The only place I haven't traveled is the road. It's forking road. Let's go check that. Why is this man dead here? I don't understand. Okay, we're going to start from the left westernmost point, and we will follow the road to the east, and then to the north, or north first and then east. North to Kainua, west to Defiance Bay. Alright. What about east? Where is it leading to? Stormwall Gorge? Okay, let's go to Kainua first. What was the guy's name again that wants an audience with me?
I must say, I'm impressed.
Solmar the Shackler. Alright. What does he want? Solmar the Shackler. At last, I'm glad you're here, my lord. My name is Solmar. I've a matter of some importance to discuss. We have the time. Arismital says, very well, let's hear it. Your gesture for your allies to join you, take your place upon your throne. Solmar the Shackler says, I'll cut to the meat of it. I have a dozen Orlan slaves in port at Girara, good healthy stock that will fetch a fine price in Examital if I can get a ship up the coast. Wait, I don't understand. I read a book about Atmet Hadreth and the prelude to the Defiance War. Wasn't Atmet Hadreth abolished the slavery? So why does it still exist? Or maybe it is a different form of slavery? Maybe it's more of a indentured servitude? Maybe it's not like the Pacific slavery. I mean, Atmeth Hadred's supposed to abolish it, so it can't still exist in the current time in Deerwood. Interesting. Solmar the Shackler says, "That's the tricky part. I haven't got a coin to stock a ship for the whole journey, not without docking at the Deerwood port along the way, running the risk of having my goods seized." Oh, I see. So it has been abolished in Deerwood. That's why Solmar said he doesn't want to dock at Deerwood, because he's afraid that the goods will be seized, meaning the Orlan slaves. I see, now I understand. Continue on, Solmar the Shackler. Solmar the Shackler says, "Really, these Deerwood laws are completely impractical for any honest merchant traveling outside of Defiance Bay." Hear, hear. Solmar the Shackler says, "I hope you could be of some assistance. You're not originally from the Deerwood, I hear, so surely you understand." What should I do? I think you should continue up the coast. I'll help you sell those slaves. I cannot help you with this at the moment. Maybe I should help him sell the slaves? I mean, at least if I'm the one who is selling the slaves, I can pick and choose who's going to buy them. Maybe I can try to sell them to good people, to good masters, instead of the cruel ones. Arismital says, "I'll help you sell those slaves." Solmar the Shackler says, "That's much appreciated. What did you have in mind?" Oh, there are many options that I don't meet the requirements for. Oh, why? Arismital says, "Sell them to me. I'll take them off your hands for 5,000 CP. Solmar the Shackler says, "Wonderful. That settles the matter entirely. Perhaps I can keep you in mind for future transactions, yes?" Well, I rather not, I don't want, just because I buy these slaves from you, that you continue doing this. Maybe you should deal in other commodities. Or maybe you may think about not dealing in slaves, but how about you become a broker, an employment broker, You get the fee from brokering the potential employers with the potential employees, right? Steward says, "My lord, what is it you plan to do with these Orlans? Free them or sell them for more inspirento?" Alright, I would sell them, but the choice is not clear. It just says that Aris Mittal is going to sell them inspirento, but it doesn't say who is Aris selling the slaves to. How can I know if the master is good, if they are benevolent, or are they cruel? You don't give me much information to work with, Aris Mittal. Don't just say, "Sell for more inspirento." Explain to whom you are going to sell the slaves to, and what is the reasoning for choosing that person to sell the slaves to. Okay, Arismital says, "Free them." Steward says, "It is our great fortune that a kind soul sits upon the throne. Would that more followed in your stead?" Well, I wouldn't be too hasty, Steward. I did have a mind of selling those slaves. The only reason I didn't go ahead with it because I cannot guarantee the reputation of the person buying the slaves. If I can guarantee that, well, money is money. Like Don King said, money is the ultimate power in the whole universe. Well, maybe there's an exaggeration, I'm sure, but it's just an expression that money makes the world go round. Of course, make sure you don't get enslaved by money. Once you get enslaved by money, stop being happy, regardless of how rich you are. Wow. That it? Okay.
I trust all is well. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to help.
Now I just realized, dang it, I freed the slaves. Now what will happen to them? Alright, I bought the slave, I freed the slaves, and now what is their future? They have been plucked away from their homeland, I presume, then transported to different lands to be sold as commodities, and now I bought them and I free them. And what is going to happen to them? How are they going to go back to their homes? And if they can't go back to their homes, how are they going to survive and continue living in this new land? If I have a mind, if Aris Mittal decided to free the slaves and he has decided so, he should think about what to do with the slaves next. Maybe give them jobs? Make them work? If if Aris just bought the slave and then just let them go free and not doing anything, then what will happen to these freed slaves? Will they be able to go back home? Will they be able to make ends meet? Will they be able to find work if they can't go back home? There has to be a follow-up program. Can't just free them just like that. Has to be a follow-up program. I'm thinking too much about this. Wait, he already left? Solmar the Shackler leaves the stronghold. Leaving in 8 days and 2 hours? What? Oh, my business with him is over, but he's staying at Kaitnua for 8 days. Well, keep the money coming. Keep the coin rolling, Solmar. My castle needs it. Stormwall Gorge, Searing Falls. Where is Elm Shore? It's for my bounty, but it's not here. What about Searing Falls?
Hello?
Where's a drake? Oh, come on.
Let's see what lies this way. Hello? Hello?
Slow and silent. Ready, Watcher.
Keeping an eye out. Nice and quiet.
Easy now.
Cave.
I shall be quiet as a calm sea.
The tunnel burrows into the depths as far as the eyes can see. The crystal waters are perfectly transparent. Ah,
Which is not very quiet.
soot darkens the lip of the cavern. So, I was wondering, drakes are flying creatures. How could Arismital and his companions strike the drake with melee? Is it assumed that the drake went to the ground to attack? I'm confused. Searing Falls Cave.
A temple to Margaret if there ever was one. That's Sulphurona. That's how you know she's excited.
Magran is the goddess, right? The goddess that Durans worship. Rippling waves of heat rise. Wait, what did I take? Oh, bloodstone.
I'll take a look.
Burn lady.
Margaren's fire casts light in dark places.
Rippling waves of heat rise. Oh, there's a big one. Cail the Silent. The drake cocks its enormous head, looking at you. It issues a stream of words directly into your mind. Glowing, burning spark, you Orlan thing. You come to take my spark, yes? Arismital asks, what's the spark? The drake coils its body protectively around something. Spark is an ember, warm, glowing, beautiful. It turns its head to look at you out of one slit pupil. One day I will become a burning thing, bright and terrible like my spark. Arismital says, I promise I didn't come to take your spark. Liar! Cail the Silent roars. You come to steal it with your cold, dirty paws. I'm not ready for this. Cail the Silent beast.
Yes? I shall.
Burning stone? A bright orange light blazes from the center of the stone. It radiates intense heat, yet it doesn't burn your hands as you hold it. Durans, on the ground where the dragon had curled around it. You find a stone that glows a brilliant orange, yet is cool to the touch when you reach to retrieve it. Durans catches a glimpse of it, and his eyes bulge out of their sockets. He scowls, his mouth puckered, as though having tasted poison, and he spits on the stony ground. A hoarse, cruel jest. The bitch has always known where to sink her claws to get a rise out of me. Arismital asks, what do you mean? Yeah, what do you mean? You are speaking as if the bitch, I assume the drake, is doing something against you? Duran says, this stone you carry, this is a part of the bomb that destroyed Eothas, the god hammer. Ah. Arismital says, tell me about the god hammer. Duran says, ask me on the road, Watcher. I'm in no mood for it with the hoarse, bitter perfume still clogging my senses. Who is this whore you're talking about? And what's your problem with this whore? Arismital says, you seem angry. Durans, for the first time, seems to become aware of his demeanor, and as quickly as it had flared, it seems to recede, until you start to question whether he had been angry at all. Durans says, No, it is not anger, you see. I am merely the victim of a divine practical joke, it seems, that will remain between she and I, Watcher, for only I am able to appreciate it. What? A victim of a divine practical joke? So you are implying that this practical joke is done by a deity, and this practical joke makes you a victim, and this she is the one who commits the practical joke, and because of the word divine, you're implying that this she is divine. Is she a goddess? A goddess playing practical joke against you, Durans? Who are you talking about? Your goddess that you worship when we first met at Magran's Fork? If you worship the goddess, why are you angry at her? And what practical joke are you talking about? Arismital asks, what's it doing here? Duran says, one wonders, the bomb blew big, but it would not have sent fragments this far from the citadel. The Drake must have carried it quite a distance, or Magran merely put it here herself. Right? The goddess is Magran, so who is playing practical joke? Magran or the Drake? But Durans mentioned divine practical joke, so the practical joke is divine in nature, so he must be talking about a goddess, because it's a she. But who is it? Magran? Or some other goddess? Arismital says, is it worth anything? Duran says, ask Eothas. If you mean in terms of copper, there was a time when it might have been, but the market soon became flooded with pieces of the god hammer, most of them no more than the trivial enchantments of swindlers dabbling in wizardry. Counterfeit. As there has never been a reliable way to judge a fragment's authenticity, and the would-be judges are often watchers, questionable as the artifacts themselves. Their value has plummeted considerably. Ask any shopkeep if he's interested, and he'll try to sell you his fragments instead. Interesting. I'm becoming more and more interested about Duran's story.
I'm on the trail.
What's this?
Cail the Silent. Rippling waves of heat rise. Maybe I shouldn't use the second wind ability. I don't think I want to use the second wind ability. I've used it several times before. But now I'm determined I don't want to use the second wind ability. I don't like it. It messes with what should I call it? With my intentions. Do we have it with us? Yes, burning stone. Pearlwood Bluff? Where is Elm Shore? Shall I check out Pearlwood Bluff? Addendum edit The Long Hunt? Huh. Interesting. It's Sagani's quest, right? Or am I mistaken?
I'll take a look. Do these look like the cliffs from your vision?
Oh, okay. But if I go down? Nothing, alright. Let's go to the north first. Explore this city, not city, this place, step by step. In the bay below, waves roll toward Defiance Bay. Okay, so the cliff is to the north.
Nice and quiet.
What? A lively breeze ruffles your clothes as you approach the edge of the bluff. A cave mouth yawns from the cliff face. It is only a dozen feet below your position, but the weathered rock is too smooth to scale. A rock perches near the precipice. It feels like a sturdy anchor. Leave. Later. What? Dogo, calm down, Dogo. Relax.
Laying low.
What's that? Oh, I can talk to it. As you reach the edge of the bluff, you recognize the exact location from your vision of Persok. He was here not long ago. Sagani stands alert, the Adra statuette in one hand while she scans the cliff. You close your eyes, feeling the ether for some trace of Persok's presence. The darkness behind your eyelids takes shape. You feel Persok running through the forest this time, hurtling and dashing around rocks and trees. The scenery whizzes by too fast. You cannot make out the details between the blurred greenery. Something looms out of the trees ahead of you. Persok finally stops in front of an Adra arch. Arismital inspects the arch. You remember hearing about this place. Supposedly, there's a row of Adra pillars. Arismital examines its surrounding. Soil is soft and moist, and river reed grows around you. You must be close to a body of fresh water. Arismital asks, do you recognize a natural arch made of Adra? Eder says, they got something like that out in Eirglanfath, across the water from Twin Elm. Arismital says, I know where to look next for Persok. Okay, Twin Elms?
Then I'll follow. In these visions, I don't suppose you're getting a sense for who Persok is now.
Sagani nods slowly. She shoulders her bow. Arismital says, should I be serious or should I be clever? Arismital says, someone who appreciates the scenery. Sagani chuckles. Nothing against this stuffy forest, but you haven't seen the southern lights over Nasita.
At least we're getting closer. Seems like we've made more progress together than I've made in a year.
Sagani shrugs. Arismital asks, what was he like? No, wait. Arismital says, I thought you knew Persok.
I was just a child when he died. I remember fleeting images, but that doesn't mean much now. I talked to everyone in Masuk before I left. I heard that he was a strong leader, a dependable builder, a caring grandfather, a wise elder, a generous neighbor, a cunning negotiator.
Sagani kicks a pebble over the cliff and watches it plummet. Sagani shrugs. Sagani says, might as well be one of those impossibly perfect heroes from the Aedir epics. Arismital says, people remember the things about him that matter most to them.
The odd thing is, many in Masuk weren't much older than me when Persok passed. And yet everyone wanted to make sure he heard about something in particular. Our trade with the Amawa, our successful hunts, peace with neighboring villages.
Sagani kicks another pebble over the edge. Tumak follows its arc, his ears forward. Okay, what is Sagani implying here? Many in Masuk weren't much older than me when Persok passed. And yet everyone wanted to make sure he heard about something in particular. Our trade with the Aumawa, our successful hunts, peace with neighboring villages. Okay, where is she going with this? Arismital asks, no offense, but shouldn't Masuk have sent someone who knew him personally?
I wondered about that. Most of his daughters and nieces are too old for a journey like this. And as busy as he was, his grandchildren didn't know him all that well. Besides, that's never been the purpose of these journeys. Whoever he is now, he probably won't remember his family back in Nasitak. This is about the legacy he left the village.
Interesting. Should I give my opinion, or should I just acknowledge Sagani's statements? Arismital says, I see. Okay, this is too close. Why is he in the front? Dang it. He should be. Arismital. Front.
Keeping an eye out.
In the bay below, waves roll toward Defiance Bay.
Laying low.
I heard some drum sounds. What is it? Oh, forest lurker? Alright. So the drum sound I heard was actually the sound of forest lurker's footsteps. Interesting.
Keeping an eye out.
Tie your rope to the rock, securing it with your grappling hook, and climb down. You fasten your rope to the rock and descend. Suddenly, a strong gust of wind whips along from the bay. You struggle to hold onto the rope as the breeze tosses you around. Lost rope and grappling hook. The wind whistles through the crags, but you hold tight to the rope. Moments later, the gale subsides and you make your way to the mouth of the cave. Okay, whose cave is this?
I'm on the trail.
Cave? Always quick save. Gargoyle? What the heck? Gargoyle, same creatures we face in the Endless Path.
I shall be discreet.
Ring of Selonan? 2 centuries after Telda forged a ring, extending her spellcasting powers, a wizard of the Violin Republic sought to improve upon her design. Almert of Selona was never known for particularly original scholarship or spellcraft, and many of his peers accuse him of outright plagiarism. It's widely held that this is the reason he never received much credit for this ring, the one truly remarkable achievement of his career. Wait a minute, so the wizard dies here? Is this the wizard, or just someone who happens to be in the possession of the ring? I don't know. Is that it? No other interesting stuff in the cave? Where should we go next? We have cleared Searing Falls. We have cleared Wooden Plains. Pearlwood Bluff has been cleared. Now this is Stormwall Gorge. Should I advance the plot first? Regarding the Leiden Key by going to the city. Should I go to Stormwall Gorge? Okay, one more place. Stormwall Gorge, and then we go to the city. How about that? So Padasok is in the area across the Twin Elms, but where is Twin Elms?
The better part of valor.
Let's follow the road first, and then we explore the off-road area.
I shall be discreet.
Feral Druid. Why are the druids become feral? I wonder. Drinking too much potions? Hey, hello Bambi. Hello Bambi. Where's your mother? What's this? Dead adventurer. Okay, the road forks. Where should we go first? Down or right? Let's go right first. Beautiful village. Okay. Wait a minute, there's something I want to check. Okay, I was trying to find out in the settings whether I can make the map screen transparent so I can move my characters while looking at the map, but there's no option to make that. Oh well. And I just realized just now I can't move my characters while the map is open. If I click on the open field, it closes the map. I wish they gave the option to make it transparent and still able to move the characters.
Get on!
I shall.
Hello? Hello?
I'm here. Indeed.
Hey, the deer is running away. Why are you running away, deer? Come back. Come back, Bumby. Never mind. Huh? Eugra? That's... What's this place? This place is being flooded. What is this place? Is it an altar? An entrance to something, perhaps? Le a remen. Oh, it's an object of interest. I mean, point of interest. So I'm supposed... I can't click on it. What's this? The bright sun casts its light on a pattern in the ground. You kneel to get a better look. The stone here has been carved with a few simple shapes. A small circular indentation marks the center, and a much larger circle surrounds it. See what appears to be writing above the two circles. Look at the circular indentation. The indentation is shallow and smooth. It looks like it was intended to hold something specific. Oh, a key? Okay. Examine the outer circle. Several shapes have been carved along the outer ring. Though most have been worn away, you can make out a crescent above the center. Crescent? Moon? What signifies nighttime? Examine the writing. The characters are completely foreign to you, no doubt the remnants of some long-forgotten language. Wait a while. You wait for a few hours, marking the sun's journey across the sky. Yeah, I'm guessing I have to wait until nighttime, but there's something that I need to use at the circular indentation, and I don't think I have anything. So, yeah, let's just leave.
I'm on the trail.
Arismital and his companions is doing a service, making all these places and roads safe for people to travel, by killing all the monsters and feral druids. Unfortunately, it is a thankless job. No money, no reward. That
I see
sucks.
something.
Iravios. What is this? Someone killed an animal? Iravias, chewing on a piece of uncooked meat. Small Orlan dressed in tattered leathers, offers a mumbled greeting, and waves his hand. Despite his pleasant smile, the upper right portion of his face is in a sorry state. An eye patch stitched with a stylized eyeball wraps around his head, and his ear is a mangled remnant that twitches and spasms, while the other ear perks up at your approach. Next to him is the splayed carcass of a deer that appears ripped open by a bear or wolf. You hear a gurgling rumble next to you. Sagani places her hand on her stomach. Her eyes are on the carcass. Sagani says, still fresh. Itumak's pink tongue lolls out of his mouth.
If this is your deer, you need a new game warden. Name's Haravius. Hungry? I can't eat all this. First catch of the day, help yourself.
Iravia smiles, bits of sinew and tendon dangle from his bloody lips. His one good eye twinkles. Taking a step back, he spreads his arm wide, presenting the carcass to you. Arismital says, you might want to cook that first.
And ruin the original texture? That's the best part! Just see for yourself.
Iravias chuckles and wipes deer bits from his lips. Turning his attention to the corpse, he plunges his hands into the deer's vivisected abdomen.
Eat up!
With a smile, Iravias holds the truncated end of the beast's innards in front of you. Arismital eats it.
Gods no! Don't eat it! I assumed you realized I was being a churlish ponce. I applaud your bravery, but unless you've a cast iron stomach, I don't recommend eating the feces tube.
Oh, feces tube? You mean intestines? As you reach out to grab it, Iravia snaps his hand back with a startled laugh. He chuckles and drops the mass of viscera. Arismital asks what killed that deer.
One ornery Stelgar. Though looking at the deer's insides, it had a malformed but delicious heart, and would have been dead within the year regardless.
Iravias chuckles and scratches the stump of his half-severed right ear. What is a Stelgair?
Gallowayne chose a fitting end for this fine animal. Pardon me, I shouldn't pray with my mouth full.
Iravias bows his head to the deer, starts to breathlessly chant but then stops abruptly. Arismital asks what brings you here.
Other than the delicious venison, new trees to document, new animals to sketch, new sights to be seen. I've learned as much as I can from the druids of my circle. I'd rather wander and learn than take root and stagnate. So if you're traveling to Deerwood and need another set of hands, I'd welcome the safety of a group.
Iravias gives you a toothy grin. Arismital asks, and just what can you offer in return?
I'm trained by the celebrants of Hawk and Ivy of the Fisher Crane tribe. I know more than my share of nature magic, and, well, I don't shy away from a good fight.
An impish smile overcomes Hiravias' face. Celebrants of Hawk and Ivy of the Fish Crane tribe. So druids are organized in tribes?
I have business with the druids that live near Twin Elms. So long as we find ourselves there eventually, I'm happy to follow along.
What a coincidence. I'm going to Twin Elms to try to find this Persok guy. Arismital says, you're welcome to join us.
Splendid! It'll be an honor to run with a pack for a change.
Iravias darts forward and grips you by the sides. Oh, you go to Kaitnua. Alright.
Easy now.
Maybe I'm not wide apart enough. Let's try this. More wide apart. Oh, it's water. I can't go any further. Alright. Yeah. Now let's go to the city and advance the story. Wow, that rhymes. Oh, I see. This whole area is called Twin Elms. Okay. Let us rest first at Kaitnua, yeah?
I must say, I'm impressed. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sneak up on you. I just... Well, you seemed preoccupied.
You've just begun to stretch and soothe the aches from your body when you feel Aloth over your shoulder. He looks away quickly when you notice him, kneading his hands into squirming fists. Arismital says, "You seem preoccupied, Aloth."
Mad old watches, a cult on our trail. What's not to worry about?
Aloth laughs uneasily.
I suppose I've just noticed you acting a little, unusual lately. Talking to people who aren't there, remembering flashbacks of your previous life. I just want to make sure you're doing all right.
Aloth seems to be wringing each bead of sweat from his fingers. He stares at a spot on the ground. Arismital asks, "What's this really about?"
I was just checking in on you. That's all.
Aloth glances up at you, his eyes wide and startled. "I don't believe you, Aloth."
I should let you rest. It looks like we'll have another full day tomorrow.
Aloth looks away again. "Why are you so shy?" Okay, let's do this. Let's go to the city. Defiance Bay, here we come.
Last thing the deer...
Wait, I'm in the castle. Why didn't I think of looking for Iravias? I want to know where is he located in the castle. But maybe next time. He must be in the Bright Hollow, right? One of the rooms. I'm worried about the warden, actually. What was his name again? Warden Feargen, or something like that. Why do we allow the lodge to remain on the outside of the castles in case of attacks from the outside? The warden's place is not protected by the walls. Well, assuming that the warden have time to retreat inside, that's good. But what if he doesn't have time to retreat inside? He would be caught outside by the invaders. Let's say the warden is in the toilet and then an invasion happens. He doesn't have time to run to get inside the castle. I'm not sure why Arismital doesn't think about relocating the warden's lodge inside the castle walls. I don't understand sometimes. Ideal One Bridge.
And what does the flame reveal?
Radok Bridgeman, Astrande Miriamelis. Let me guess, Becker characters.
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
If you need an inn for the night, Goose and Fox has the softest beds and the best ale. These days it's rare to find folks who do so much for strangers. It takes a smooth tongue to solve problems, doesn't it? Ah, what do you have in mind? There are so few honest types left in Defiance Bay. Really? Are they all liars? Have you been to the expedition hall yet? You might find your type of work there. Zoran Zenius Kavik. The Crucible Knights have been warning everyone to stay out of the catacomb. Not safe anymore. Excuse me.
Margaren's fire casts light in dark places.
If you're a scholar, you'll want to visit the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. Really? The Copper Lane Marketplace has everything you could ever want to buy. Got to laugh now and then, right? Some of the plays they put on at the amphitheater are quite good. Must be the strong, silent type. Who are you talking about? Welcome to Defiance Bay, but watch yourself in our city, understand? Says Justicia Forgant.
Hail and well met.
Justicia Forgant. What can I do for you, he said. Arismital asks, what can you tell me about Defiance Bay? Justicia Forgant says, sorry, but I don't have time right now. But it sounds like that dozen's crackpot, Rowan, is stirring up trouble again. Forgan jerks his head at the gate. He'd be all too happy to give you a rundown of the city, liberally flavored with the dozen's propaganda, of course. Arismital asks, you seem to be on edge. What's the problem? Justicia Forgan says, thousands of them, truth be told. We've got refugees coming in from all parts, under some misguided notion that things are actually better here, that the legacy somehow passed us over. They show up with no prospects and little money and just end up making a worse mess of things. Forgan looks you up and down. No offense. Arismital says, I'm looking for the Temple of Vedika. Forgan scratches his head. His beard. Not sure why you'd want to go there? Forgan shrugs. It's in First Fires if you really want to see it. Why does Forgan says not sure why we want to go there? Why? Why are you discouraging us to go there? Goodbye. Forgan grunts and good luck to you. Oh, a grumpy guard, yeah.
Good day, stranger.
We're responsible for the safety of every person in the city, says Justiciar. The expeditions out of Atmethden are just organized grave robbery. Really? We defended Defiance Bay back in Duke Hadret's day.
Nice and quiet.
Copper Lane.
Defiance Bay, the city at the heart of the Deerwoods Revolution, now seems on the brink of another. Refugees line the streets, homeless and hungry, displaced by Whiteone's legacy, hoping for relief within the city walls, and finding none. Dissidents congregate to protest and to heckle, calling for an end to animancy and the ouster of their duke. The city's militiamen cast fearful looks as they patrol the streets, their hands trembling at the hilts of their weapons. The capital of a country that had not long ago incinerated a god now appears to be a spark away from sharing the deity's fate.
Okay, Whiteone's legacy. Let's go. Copper Lane. Hey, a cat.
You have found it.
Pines Bay. If ever there were a dry field in need of a cleansing flame, we have found it. Says who? Durans. Why do you want to cleanse Defiance Bay with a flame? Why are you so violent? The Animancers have brought divine wrath upon us all, and yet the Duke and his toadies in the Crucible Knights do nothing. And we allow these atrocities to you unchecked. Okay, says Rowan. No, says an audience. Down with animancy. Whiteone's legacy was one warning, Heritage Hill was another, says Rowan. Spread the word, together we'll drive the blight of animancy from our city. Okay. These are protesters. Right? This one is Rowan. This one is Justiciar. Let's talk to them all one by one. Stay out of the catacombs, they're more dangerous than usual lately, says Justiciar. The Hall of Revealed Mysteries is where you want to go if you need the services of a scholar. We defended Defiance Bay back in Duke Hadret's day. I saw an Animancer's experiment to make a little girl kill herself, says a protester. The Duke says he's addressing the animancy problem, but nothing ever changes. Man isn't meant to tinker with souls. I'll bet animancy is to blame for every problem in the city. The Duke's okay. Let's talk to this Rowan guy next.
Welcome.
Rowan's arms are crossed, and his mouth is set in a grim frown as he watches the gathered protesters. He looks ready for a fight. He sizes you up. New in town, eh? You've picked an interesting time to visit Defiance Bay. All these refugees fleeing the frontier and finding the legacy is no better here. It's the Animansas, Magran scorch 'em, and they nest in the city like rats. You mark my words though, us dozens are gonna put a stop to it. Arismital asks, "What are you doing out here?" Rowan gestures at the crowd, which buzzes with angry chatter. Trying to get folk to see reason, we're in the midst of a crisis, and instead of purging the nefarious forces from our city, the Dukes is granting Animansas dangerous liberties. Arismital asks, "What do you know about Animansi?" Rowan says, "It's the study and manipulation of essence, which any sane person will tell you is the purview of the gods. The Idirans at least had the sense to outlaw it, which is the only good thing you can say about them. It's not like magic, chanting, or the soul reading those ciphers do. It's been around since ancient Angwithan times, which is why you'll see Animansas tinkering with old Angwithan artifacts." Kana raises a fist to cuff discreetly into it. Half truths all, but he's an enthusiastic performer. I'll give him that. Rowan shakes his head. Trouble is, the Animansas got no idea what half those artifacts actually do. Not that they'll admit it. Aloth says, "Our emphatic friend is correct about one thing, at least." Oh, Aloth agrees. Aloth agrees with Rowan's statement that the Animansas don't know what the artifacts can do. So Aloth is on the side of caution. Makes sense. Arismital says, "Tell me about the dozens." Rowan taps his chest. "We are an organization of interested citizens who want to free Defiance Bay from the dangerous influence of Animansas and the tyranny of the aristocrats who support them. We also consider ourselves a militia of sorts, being as the Crucible Knights are little more than a flock of preening nobles in training these days." Eder says, "Just like a militia, the dozens, except for the training and the discipline and the code of honor." Eder has a negative view of the dozens. Rowan eyes gleam. He says, "And we're always looking to expand. The more people see things our way, the better for the state of the country. If you have any interest in hearing more, stop by Atmath's den sometime. The expedition hall. Lots of free thinkers in there. Can set straight all the nonsense the nobles and the Animansas want you to believe. Might even be some paid work there for motivated types." Arismital says, "I'd like to know more about Defiance Bay." Rowan says, "This is the capital of the Free Palatinate of the Deerwood. We started out as the capital of an Idiran colony, but we booted the Flaccid Scepter from these lands 150 years ago. These days we're a major port receiving trade and visitors from all over the world, but we, some of us anyway, strive to hold on to the pioneering spirit that earned us our freedom a century and a half ago. The city is divided into 5 districts: Copper Lane, First Fires, Ondra's Gift, Breckenbury, and Heritage Hill." Rowan ticks each off on a callous finger. Arismital says, "Tell me about Copper Lane." Rowan says, "This here is Copper Lane." He taps a scuffed boot on the cobblestones. "It's primarily a market district, but you've also got the expedition hall directly north of here, where you can join treks into the wilds. It's also where my fellow dozens martyrs and I tend to meet up with other concerned citizens." Rowan points to a long dome building west and north of your position. "And that's the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. Eerie place, you ask me, but they've got the biggest library in Deerwood." Kana laughs. "Eerie indeed. It might be less so if more kith stepped inside. Perhaps we ought to visit Arismital, see just what mysteries are revealed. Arismital says, "Tell me about Breckenbury." A noise of disgust rattles in his throat. Rowan says, "The nobility that didn't sail back to Idir stayed there. Most of the families there trace their lineage back to old imperial times. Other than a lot of has-been nobility, you've got Hadret House, where Lady Webb and her spies operate, and Breckenbury Sanitarium, the main cesspit of animancy in the city." Rowan spits on the cobblestones. Iris Mittal says, "Tell me about First Fires." Rowan says, "That's where the revolution started. That's the name. These days it's overrun with politicians and panderers, but we'll take it back someday. That's where you'll find the Ducal Palace, the Violian Embassy, and Crucible Keep." Rowan shakes his head. The Crucible Knights were the original freedom fighters in Defiance Bay, but now they're just strutting peacocks with their eyes on fancy titles and their heads up their asses. There's an old temple of Voidica there too. We keep it real nice for her. Rowan winks. Arismital says, "Tell me about Ondra's gift." Rowan says, "Got the name because it was a wetland that was drained back in the imperial days. Now it's a seedy district populated by sailors, common folk, and more than a few thugs. But it's a fun place too if you know where to look." Rowan winks and elbows you. Look for a place called the Salty Mast when you're there. Other than that, it's mostly warehouses and abandoned homes. Arismital says, "Tell me about Heritage Hill." Rowan shivers. It used to be one of the more prestigious districts in the city. Heroes of the Revolution claim plots up there, next to an ancient Anglican tower and the city cemetery. But the best views in Defiance Bay attracts richer types these days, Lotte Animancy patrons. Rowan spits. He glances at the crowd and lowers his voice. "You wouldn't have heard, but something happened over there a couple months ago. The authorities sealed it off, and they're keeping their mouths shut. But mark my words, Animancy's to blame." Arismital says, "Never mind, let's talk about something else." Rowan says, "What do you want to know?" Arismital says, "Farewell."
Welcome.
Rowan's brow is darkened from standing in the sun all day. "Welcome back. Finding your way around town?" "Okay, this is where I have to stop.